Uh, Hi everybody, my name is Ruslan Altaev. I'm from Skolkovo team, dealing with medical devices and diagnostics programs. And today our topic of discussion will be predictive medicine. So the main question is, can we trust predictive medicine and can we practice it? For example, cardiovascular diseases are the #1 reason of death in Russia and as well as Europe and United States. And can you imagine if we can predict stroke or heart attack and even more, prevent it? What would be an effect? We at Skolkovo, we try to find innovative initiatives that can change, that can shift a paradigm in their areas. And that's why I'm particularly happy to present you a HemaCore company, the HemaCore company. So these guys are the real lifesaver already today, and I'm sure they will save more lives in the future. So Igor, please tell us, how did you do this? How do you do this?
Okay, Ruslan, thank you very much. First, I'm very grateful to speak to such a great auditory today. Thank you very much to have an attention paid to us. And so I'll talk about HemaCore. It is a biotech company located in Moscow in Russia, which is dedicated to new methods of diagnostics in hemostasis. And first, just to have an understanding that each third person in the world really dies from cardiovascular diseases. This is a huge unmet need in treatment in the world. And such diseases like deep vein thrombosis, or thromboembolia, or stroke, and heart attacks are most dangerous reasons of the deaths in the world now. And we are focusing on this area. And what we are focusing on is coagulation. So why coagulation? It's a system in our blood that really prevents blood loss. And many people do not consider this as very important for such big diseases like stroke or heart attack. But really, coagulation disorders can majorly divide into two big parts: bleedings and thrombosis. And these disorders can cause many troubles. And so coagulation is a really systemic reason of many cardiovascular diseases. Thrombosis lay as a foundation of many other diseases. And so our solution, what we developed, is a thrombodynaamics assay. It is a new global assay for blood coagulation diagnostics, which is very sensitive to bleedings and thrombosis, especially on early stages. It is a very new technology, and we developed it for 15 years. It's 15 years of basic research, and the company was founded just 3 years ago. So I'll just show you that we use such a small cuvette, which is assay is performed in it, and you see on the slides how it works. And we put some plasma in this cuvette, and we put some surface that is covered with a special protein that imitates the damaged vessel wall, and we see how the clot is forming in this area. And analyzing these pictures give us main parameters of the clotting, and we found that is enormously sensitive to bleeding stages and thrombotic stages. And so this is a core of technology. I would say that thrombodynaamics is the best in vitro model of in vivo coagulation process. And actually now it is a real product. It is not just lab technology. We actually sell now the instruments, laboratory instruments, the disposables. And by the way, we have a booth on Skolkovo and that end of the stage, so you can come and have a look on an instrument on your own eyes. And we also make a software by ourselves. We have two major clinical utilities for this assay. First is a screening for the early risks of thrombosis and bleedings. So the physician can really early assess the risk of this patient to have some bleeding or thrombotic issues. It is very important for them to make it early. And the second is to monitoring the efficacy of the treatment, because in many cases, when the physician treats the patient with some drug. In some cases, he does not exactly know how the drug is working, whether it is enough dosage or not. Maybe the drug is wrong. And thrombodynamics assay can be used to really evaluate and to monitor the efficacy of this therapy. So it is a great instrument for the physicians. We have a huge market, and we look globally. We understand that the biggest market are US and Europe. And so the estimation of the whole market is around $2 billion. And our segments of a market is research and clinical laboratories and hospital laboratories. So it is what we are going to. And just to have an image of several key people, I will talk. I can talk a couple of words about myself. This is my second company I am performing. I'm the CEO of a second company, and I'm a biophysicist by background. And I was participating in basic research for 6 years, and then I have an experience in business for around 15 years. And my task in this company was to really raise the money for this great technology and to found a company and to bring this technology to the market. So I think that we are quite successfully moving on this way. And just to have an understanding of what we've done, there are some milestones of our work. We found a company in 2010, and till now we finished the development of the instrument, finished the development of the disposables, we finished our clinical trials. We became the Skolkovo resident, so it is very useful for us. And we received approval in Russia, so now the instrument is shipped in Russia already. And we received the ISO certificate, and this year, at the end of this year, we hope to receive the CE mark, first CE mark to go to Europe. And just a nice news that this year we won, our instrument design won the Red Dot Award design. It is a big design award in the world. So our instrument was actually designed by several teams. We involved several teams in this process. There was two German companies and one Switzerland company. So we have different competences all over the world to make a perfect instrument to work in the lab. And what is next? We're going to perform additional clinical trials in Russia, in Europe, and in the US. Some of these trials will be regulatory trials, and some of these will be post-marketing. And we are going to receive the reimbursement in Russia and then to get the CE approval in Europe. And so that's why we are looking for additional funding for next year. We already committed $3 million from our current investors, so now we are looking for additional $7.5 million. And we'll be happy to talk about this. You can find me on the booth on Skolkovo or just using these coordinates, these contacts here. And finally, answering to the question that Ruslan asked about, can we really predict some cardiovascular catastrophe? Yes, I will say that today's technologies in medicine are quite fast moving to this predictive field. And the assays like our assay, I know several other projects in different areas that are, that will be revolutionizing the treatment strategies of the future. The physician will have an opportunity of early detection of the problems and to prevention, not to treatment of thrombosis when it occurred, but to prevent real problem before it really happens. So I think it's very valuable. This will change the world, I hope. And so we will be happy if anyone will join us on this way to changing the world of treatment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, Skolkovo story is not only about innovation, but also about commercialization. And so what is your future strategy? So are you going to be a big multinational company, or are you going to have an exit in some years? So please tell us about this.
That's a good question. Mm-hmm. Actually, we understand that as a small company, we are not be able to sell all over the world, and we have a global market because these problems are the unmet needs in all over the world. And we, of course, are looking for some strategic partners, like big IVD companies or even big farm companies that will be interested in partnering and to help us to distribute their products in Europe and US. So this is our strategy, to find out good partners first.
Okay, sure, we will help you.
Okay, yeah, I hope so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your attention. Thanks.